All right. So, my low, my high, my act of kindness for this video. Well, let's see, what was my low yesterday? Or at all? I guess, man, what did I have for a low? I do not know. I made that rhyme. Alright. Man, it's hard to really come up with, to remember, like, stuff yesterday or whatever. I don't know. I guess yesterday overall was just sort of, I don't know, yesterday was pretty, uneventful in terms of anything that was significantly, bad. I mean, gosh. Well, I can't really move this video forward unless I do it. So, actually, you know what? I guess my low for this is, I did kind of procrastinate getting up this morning. And even though I really have nothing going on, and even though, like, today is Friday, which I'll be getting to the intro momentarily, I should be feeling pretty good, but I should know better than to simply procrastinate. I should, especially when, like, technically, even though I just said I have nothing going on, there is something I need to do. Like, to put things into perspective, I'm going up to Cuca Lake later today, and I'm not going to be back until, like, Tuesday. Well, here's the thing. I'll be doing videos, while I'm at Cuca Lake, obviously. But, I'm not going to be back here until, Monday night. So, needless to say, I had to get up and, do a couple of things, pack a few, items that needed to be packed up. Because, once I leave, there's no coming back. I mean, I am going to be coming back to the area for just a little bit for, I gotta have my Ritas. Gotta have Ritas. Although looking back on it, maybe I should have gone yesterday. Although everyone there knows me. I always go on Fridays. I'm a regular there. It's cool though. I love Ritas. You guys know that. Maybe I should have gone yesterday though. I did have the time. I'll go today. Keep it normal. Just keep it like me going every Friday, and we're all good. So, yeah. But in terms of my low, that's my low. I should never have procrastinated the way I did. So my high was, we did get a new episode of Hot Ones. Not an actual episode. It was more like the end of season fan Q&A that Sean Evans likes to do. Which I'll actually explain a little bit of that, as, in this video. So that was fun. You got to see more Hot Ones. And, I am looking forward to read this again today. So, honestly, I just had kind of a really bad week. Again, what happened on Tuesday, Wednesday just being only a little bit better. Yesterday also was a little bit better compared to Wednesday. But, I'll be honest, this was just a long week. Like, a day like today, hopefully nothing will go wrong. I'm hoping nothing goes wrong. And, I can just focus on, getting ready for, Labor Day weekend. I have some stuff to bring. I have something to grab. A little bit on the fragile side. Because, because, again, I still have the pickling bug. I actually just made like a couple of jars of pickled onions. I'm bringing one jar up to Cuca Lake tonight, so that's one thing I gotta remember. That's one thing. If I take something with me, I absolutely need to be sure I bring it back here, right? Just because I'm going to be that worried. Right. So, wow, I've been talking a little bit too long. So my act of kindness. Let's see, what was my act of kindness? Um, Nothing more than the usual. I've been helping out my grandmother a lot lately. She just turned 86, as you guys will know, because, I posted some pictures on the social media about her birthday. She just turned 86, and, she's still, well, I had a knock on wood right there. So, yeah, just helped out my grandma yesterday, and it was nice. I like helping out my grandmother because you guys know I love my grandma, and that's always a beautiful thing. So, good morning, and happy Friday, everyone. So, yesterday's fan Q&A. Well, it started off as Sean saying, like, the vast majority of the questions that they've been getting from fans have been, for the most part, just like, what have you guys been doing during the pandemic, during COVID? Like, what movies have you, like, what do you like to watch on TV during all this time? What movies do you like? One of the questions that was asked was, some guest related stuff as well. Like, if you could have like a guest that you could have like during quarantine or something, like that was fun. It's really nice to hear like what the fans have to say, because I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Hot Ones too, but a part of me actually, now I think about it, there really isn't anything that would keep me from asking a fan question myself. And by all accounts, I really should, but, it goes back to way back when I did my TP Tales on Chapel Talks, and how I never did one. And that's, what am I going to ask? What am I going to say? Like, what sort of thing, in the case of, asking a fan question for Hot Ones, what am I going to ask that's like unique or something that's never been asked before, or anything of that sort? So it's definitely, I mean, let's be honest, it's the internet. Pretty much every question that you could ask has been asked, and pretty much anything that has been done has been thought of or fantasized about, if Rule 34 is any indication. Good. My goodness, Rule 34. Anyway, although if I took anything from the fan Q&A, well, there's several things I took, and the first one is, what is, the good people over at who make Hot Ones at First Reviews. Oh yeah, it does remind me. They lost one of their bookers. Yeah, one of their bookers is no longer working for them. Like the person who, gets a celebrity guest. And that's actually another guest-related question that was asked is, has anyone ever, like, flaked out in the last minute? That's actually a question that was asked. Which, a part of that isn't surprising to me. I mean, sometimes it's just one of those things where something comes up, it's, very inconveniencing for everyone, and you just simply can't have what you're trying to have. I mean, it's bad. No one really wants that, but it happens. And there really isn't much you can do in the way of that. But, yeah. They have the same, like, staff of 8 people from, like, the very beginning. And they've kept that staff down to 8 people to this very day. Although I do sort of remember what the booker's name was, again, I just never name names because, technically, this person doesn't qualify as anyone famous. And of course, they would have to have a social media page because this person would be a full-grown adult. So I can't necessarily divulge that name, but what I can say is, thank you for all the work you did for Hot Ones. You're going to be, Sean Evans said himself, you're going to be missed. So, hope you have, hope there are greener pastures where you are. But for the most part, everyone else who's working on Hot Ones, all the people who work behind the scenes and stuff like that. If nothing else, it's good to know that during this time they've all been holding up well. Let's be honest. Everyone wants things to get back to normal. I do too. It's hard. It really is sad that the world is the state that it's in. I certainly am not a fan of where we're at right now. We are better off than where we were in the very beginning of all this COVID stuff. But the sooner things go back to normal, the better. And I'm looking forward to when it finally happens. So, I'm good on that front. And the one final thing I took away from yesterday's episode, which if you watched Hot Ones too, and you happen to be waiting for me to talk about this, here it is. We have a short break between seasons this time around. Yeah, season 13 is going to be on October 1st. Just shortly after day 1000. So, yeah, kicking off season 13, that's going to be a great way to sort of kick off, the next 1000 days, right? That's going to be pretty cool. And, really all we can do now is speculate who the season 13 opening guest is going to be. We can also speculate if they're still going to be in the format that they're in, Essentially, the good people over at First We Feast, they mail the wings to the guests and they dump the sauce on there. Even though Sean Evans clearly answered in the Q&A, is there like a way to sort of like cover the wings in a way that's appropriate? And Sean says there's an instruction manual as to how to do it, but none of the guests read it. Needless to say, if I was ever guest on Hot Ones in the format that we're at right now, I would take the time to read those instructions. I'm sure, no one reads the manual, you fool. Well, for this case, I would, because, let's be honest, as much as I do like spice, I do like hot sauce myself, that stuff really isn't meant to be trifled with. It's not. And sometimes it can get you when you least expect it. Honestly, just the other day, I made myself some guacamole. And I used serranos, which are actually traditional. Normally I use jalapenos, but they didn't have them. But I found serranos, so, I'll try those. And, I make my guacamole as normal. Lots of, the 6. I said before, when I make guacamole, there's only 6 ingredients in it. Avocados, lime, salt, onions, cilantro, and, jalapenos, or serranos in this case. And I know that serranos are, twice the heat of a jalapeno. But it still got me by surprise. One bite, there was just a pure giant piece of serrano that wasn't quite as finely chopped as I thought it was. So I just got all of it, and it really got me. So again, spice really isn't meant to be trifled with. Needless to say, though, the fact that it got me by surprise means I really got to work up on my heat tolerance a little bit. I really should, consider doing that. I'm not just going to go straight up look for an habanero and just bite into that and hope that that builds tolerance, because that really is not a very smart thing to do. I mean, on the one hand, it would sort of be the fastest way to do it, but there's a way you can do it faster and a lot safer. And I'd rather, just do it that way, please. Again, heat tolerance builds up over time, so I think in the end, I'd be fine. I think this is the first video I've ever actually talked the most in length about Hot Ones. Cool. Like, favorite, share, hit the subscribe button, follow me on the social media platforms, notification on YouTube. I'm very humbled to make this video for all of you guys who watch and enjoy today. Hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if any of you guys ever want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear. And I'll always be back. Take care and make good choices. And I'll see you guys at Cuca Lake tomorrow. Take care.